What up, B Squad? It is your boy JV, and I am here tonight, you guys, with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You guys, this is season 6. This is episode number 2, and this episode was titled Law and Out of Order, you guys. Now, before I do get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't yet subscribed, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, you guys, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss the Housewives of Salt Lake City, shall we? All right, guys. So if you guys are watching this, and you guys saw the episode, and you're in the live chat or in the replay gang, do me a huge favor, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Overall, I will say this was another good Salt Lake City episode. The ladies, they showing out, and I'm here for it so far, right? Like, they giving, and I can't even be mad at it. So this episode, it opens up, and we are still on the trip. And Meredith in her interview said the same thing that I was thinking last week when they were out there in the dark recording. Production was not going to let anything happen to those ladies. So those ladies were 100% fine. So the next morning they wake up and they're getting breakfast made, right? So Bronwyn was making steak. My bad, y'all. So Bronwyn was making steak, and she was also making. Well, she wasn't making it. Well, what happened is she was on the grill. She was on that little griddle making the steak and making bacon. And Mira was like, "Bronwyn, the way you flipping that steak, girl, I know you don't cook." And she said she doesn't cook. I'm glad you don't cook, Bronwyn. I am really glad you don't. Although I do like Bronwyn, girl, you know, after last season, seeing your house with all that dog shit, yeah, I would never want to eat at your place. That's just being real honest with you, Bronwyn. But so they sit down and they're having a conversation with each other, right? So at this point, I think this is where Heather's talking about her youngest daughter is, 17, and she's getting ready to leave the house, right? And y'all know season 1, I went up for Heather. I liked Heather. At this point, I don't necessarily 100% see it for Heather, but I kind of felt bad for Heather. But I also will say, when it comes to Heather, I really feel like you need to go sit down and get therapy for the things that you're going through. And some of it also probably stems from the Mormon church, right? I think that some of Heather's issues stem from the church and her upbringing, because she was talking about how with her daughter leaving, she kind of feels a sort of relief, because that part of her life will be over where, she has played, it sounds like she's played both mom and dad with the girls. And it sounds like she played both mom and dad with the girls, even when her husband was still around. And so I do feel bad for her, right? Because she's, like she said, she's ready for that era of her life to be over. And then Bronwyn tried to, kind of identify with Heather. But now Bronwyn lost me when she was like, because, she talked about she moved in Gwen's boyfriend. I was like, girl, that's a recipe for disaster. Ma'am, I'm not saying that your daughter's going to follow the same footsteps as you did, but Didn't you get pregnant at a young age? And again, I'm not saying that your daughter's gonna follow in your footsteps, but I don't think it's a good idea to move your daughter's boyfriend into the house with you guys. That I would never do. But I mean, it's your life. You live it however you want to live it. I think it's weird, but that's just my 2 cents. You guys will tell me what you think and what you feel, right? So then Heather felt as if what Bronwyn was saying, that she felt like Bronwyn was attacking her and coming for her mothering. I was like, Heather, I think you do this intentionally. I feel like you take anything that Bronwyn says and then you run with it and you flip it to make it fit however you want to fit so that you can see some kind of fault in Bronwyn. Because listening to what Bronwyn said, Bronwyn didn't say anything wrong to you, and she was saying she understands where you're coming from. So again, I don't understand how you took it the way that you took it, but Heather took it the wrong way. But again, like I said, I feel like Heather wanted to take it the wrong way. That's my personal 2 cents. I want you guys to definitely tell me what you think and feel below. So then Whitney is talking about, how she wishes she could be a stay-at-home mom, but the whole stuff with her and Justin, with the business. Now, I'm still unclear of what business Whitney is talking about. Is it that jewelry business that she had last season? Or because you guys, I think Whitney has two business, that jewelry business that everybody says she got her stuff from Alibaba, and then also that makeup line that she has, right? Whichever business it is, she's talking about how she and Justin put money into it, and it didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, okay, girl. Okay. You know, whatever. So then so then Whitney asked Mary, she was like, how are things with Robert Jr.? And we'll get into Robert Jr. a little bit later in the live. But Mary's talking about, things are okay they're good with Robert Jr. She and Robert Sr. had a conversation with him. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. But like I said, we'll definitely discuss Robert Jr. once we get to him. We'll definitely discuss Robert Jr. once we get there. So Mary gave Heather her props, basically saying that, she tipped her hat off to Heather for raising three girls by herself because she couldn't, she had Robert Sr. with her. So she couldn't have imagined doing that all by herself. So she gave Heather her props, and I was here for it. Again, even though I'm not like the biggest Heather fan, I was here for it. But you guys can tell me what you think and what you feel in the comment section below. Oh, there's some nasty people on social media. People are calling Mary a cultist. Well, okay, whatever. Didn't even mean to look at that. So after that, let's go ahead and move on to the individual scenes with the ladies. So the first person we'll talk about is, now I don't have the new title cards. We'll have that probably next week whenever they air the the new when they air the new what is going on with my damn thing? We'll probably have that next week when they air the new what am I thinking about? The new intro. Why is it not showing Heather? Okay, something is going on here. I don't know what's going on. Let's try this again. There's that. There we go. Got it. So Heather. Now we see Heather. So Heather is in her car and she's on the phone with Angie K, right? And so when she was on the phone with Angie K, they were talking about this. Well, Heather says there are no socialites in Salt Lake City, right? But if there was one, it would be this woman named Amy. So they're talking about Amy, and Amy is throwing this party. So they're going to all be going to the party. So then we see as Heather is meeting up with Lisa. And what I will say is seeing Heather and Lisa meet up, it gave very much fake and phony to me. Again, I want you guys' thoughts and your opinions. Also, this new confessional look for Lisa Barlow. Oh, sweet Jesus stars. Everything about this confessional look with Lisa is horrendous, from the terrible makeup, the 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 hair, the dress. It's a resounding hell the fuck no. Oh, sweet Jesus. When I say she looks like a witch, she looks like a witch. Mm. Whoever did her makeup hates her. That's the nicest thing that I can say about that when it comes to Lisa Barlow. So Heather is meeting up with Lisa, and this is where they are. She's going to be giving her a rundown on what happened on the trip, right? So Heather said that she was sad that Lisa wasn't there, and Lisa said that she was sad that she wasn't there. And I said, bullshit. Neither one of y'all were really sad about that. But if this is the lie that y'all want to go with, then cool. Have at it. Slap yourselves. Do whatever, right? But both of y'all aligned through your damn teeth, right? So then Heather decides to tell Lisa about the law. Bronwyn bringing up the lawsuit. So Lisa is so upset and pissed off about it. And Lisa said that they don't exist. But then she says they've been dismissed. I was like, Lisa, that's a contradiction. That's a contradiction. How does something not exist, but then it was dismissed? You could have said, yeah, the lawsuits, they were there, but those are either frivolous lawsuits or and you said one of them is going to be dismissed. So if it's going to be dismissed, it's a real thing at this current time. Like, Lisa, get your shit together. Talking about it doesn't exist. It does exist. It absolutely does exist, right? So then Lisa then says to Heather, I live different lives than you ladies do. And I was like, here she goes with this. And Heather even said, here she goes with this elitist stuff. And I was like, well, Heather, if you feel some type of way about it, why don't you say something to her? But you did say something to her, but you barely glazed on it. Like, I would have said to her, like, wait a minute, Lisa, like, let's not go there. Let's not do that. Don't sit here and pretend and play like we don't have shit going on in our lives, like we don't have businesses. Heather has the beauty lab. I know more about beauty lab than I do about Vita tequila. You know what I'm saying? So shut up, Lisa. So then Lisa says, did anybody stand up for me? I was like, did anybody stand up for you? But she's like, besides yourself, Heather, did anybody stand up for me? Did anybody stand up for me? So Heather was like, well, Meredith did at first, but then you know how Meredith is. So nothing. And then she said, so she got upset. And I was like, wait a minute, Lisa. You're upset that these ladies didn't defend you, but I'm about to go down the list of shit that you have done to these women. Season 1 of Salt Lake City, you referred to Heather as the good time girl. Season 2 of Salt Lake City, you went on this whole thing by sitting down with that man Cameron that went to Mary's church to try to dig up dirt on Mary and her church. Then let's talk about the shit that you did with Angie. When you said last season that you heard that Angie's husband does circle jerks. And the shit with Bronwyn last season. Like and then let's not forget that you called Meredith, your best friend, a whore. That you called that woman a whore. But you want people to defend you. Lisa, you and your withered, melting face should go straight to hell. And that's all I got to say. So we'll move on to the next person. So next up, we got Whitney. So we see Whitney. So she and Bronwyn, they went skiing with each other. And they're talking about the trip as well. And Bronwyn is talking about how, she thought that the trip was good. She thought that she and Heather, they were in a good space, right? But, she's like, we get into a good space with each other, but then it feels like we backtrack with each other. And so Whitney, Heather, not Heather, but Whitney was like, well, how about, you just have a conversation with her and, you just tell her how you feel. And I was like, okay, Whitney, I get what you're saying, right? But like I said a few minutes ago, I feel like when it comes down to Heather, that Heather specifically wants to have an issue with Bronwyn where there should be no issue because Bronwyn never really did anything to Heather. Like I'm still trying to remember what specifically Bronwyn did to Heather last season to make her have this animosity towards her, right? So then they did talk about Lisa's lawsuits, right? And this is according to Bronwyn. So Bronwyn is saying that the man that is suing Lisa is saying that he has text messages that show that Lisa says that she knows she owes him money, right? And also in the text messages, according to Bronwyn is saying that the man is saying Lisa said not to let John know about the money that she borrowed from him, right? And I'm gonna put a pin in that because we're gonna come back to that later because it's gonna come back up again later in the episode. So that's really it with Whitney's scene. So we'll move on to Mary. Who, my God. So much like y'all remember last season when Mary had that scene with Robert Jr. and it was heavy. Up, we got another heavy scene this season with Mary and Robert Jr. Now I know that there's something currently in the news about Robert Jr. and I didn't get it before I came on here. I think it came out last week around the time of the finale. Not the finale of the premiere of Salt Lake City. Let's see if I can find it. Because I think he's charged. I don't know if he's charged or not, but he has some legal issues going on currently. Again, let me see if I can find them, and then we'll definitely talk about it if I can find it. Yeah, I can't find it. But again, like I said, I know that there's something going on with him. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, so yeah, here it is. So, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Mary Cosby's son arrested for assault and trespassing. This was on September 11th, so this was last week. It says Mary Cosby's son, Robert Jr., has found himself in hot water with the law again. We've learned he's been arrested for a number of alleged crimes, including assault and trespassing. According to an arrest report obtained by TMZ, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star's only child was arrested just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah, Saturday for failure to stop at the command of law enforcement, criminal trespass, assault, and 3 alleged violations of a court order. Per the report, local police responded to a domestic violence call after Robert Jr. allegedly tried to break into his father-in-law's home via a dog door and assaulted someone on the front lawn. Robert Jr. allegedly failed to get on the ground when ordered to do so by the responding police officer, before eventually complying and being taken into custody. Bail has been set at $5,000. This is Robert Jr.'s latest set of legal troubles. He was previously arrested in 2022 for a DUI where cops say he didn't have a license and disobeyed traffic laws. He ended up pleading guilty to the DUI, resulting in the other charges being dropped. However, the saga didn't stop there, with Robert Jr. finding himself back in court after he allegedly failed to prove he completed a court-ordered rehab stay. Oh, yeah, this boy is struggling. But let's go ahead and get into this scene. So we see Mary. Now, y'all know I go up for Mary. That's my girl, right? But I got to be real and call a spade a spade. Mary girl, your room. You're a hoarder, Mary. My God, that room is cluttered. So we see Mary as she's having a conversation with Robert Jr., right? So he did say to Mary that he isn't in that same dark space that he was last season, but he's not out of it. And I was like, oh God. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, it's like, I mean, I think he should be in some kind of therapy. I feel like he should be in therapy. So then he told her that, because she was basically telling him, like, you gotta kind of find a routine, get into a habit of doing certain things for yourself, right? And I agree with that. So he talked about how he's been isolating himself and how he's not hanging around his old friends. And these are the people that he used drugs with. And I was like, well, that's a good thing. I mean, I was going to, because I was thinking when he said he's isolating himself, out, and he said he was isolating himself from friends, I was like, that may not be a good thing. But then when he said it's the people that he was using with, I was like, that's a good thing. You don't need those people in your life, especially if those people are still still under the influence of whatever drugs you guys were doing. It may be a good thing for you not to be around them. So then he also told Mary that, he is getting his stimuli from other things. And so Mary asked him, what is that? And he said, from food and from drugs. And I was like, oh God. I was like, so he's still doing drugs. So she asked him, had he smoked today? And he said, yes. But he said he's only smoking weed. And here's what I will say. As somebody who, you know, has smoked weed, will smoke it if it's in my presence, right? For somebody like Robert Jr., I don't think that's a good thing for him, especially with him going to rehab and all that stuff. I don't think it's a good thing for Robert Jr. to be doing that. I think that for him, he needs to cut everything cold turkey, right? I feel that's how I feel. And if you guys may agree or disagree, and that's okay, but definitely let me know what you think and feel down in the comment section. And what I will say is I will send up a prayer for Robert Jr. that he is able to, beat the demon of, because I mean, he's still struggling with that addiction thing. So I'm going to pray that he's able to beat it. And so let's move on to the next person, you guys. And that is Miss Bronwyn. So we see Bronwyn and Heather meeting up with each other, right? And much like I've been saying this entire review, I really feel as if Heather intentionally looks for anything when it comes to Bronwyn. That is my personal opinion. You guys will tell me if you agree or if you disagree, right? So Bronwyn talked to Heather and she told Heather, like, so Heather, I don't know, what I said to you at the trip, it got misconstrued somehow. What I was saying, I was trying to identify with you. I wasn't trying to attack you. I wasn't saying anything negative about your parenting, your mothering. I was really trying to identify with you, right? And Heather said it didn't feel that way. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to sit here and negate or take away how Heather may have interpreted that, right? I can't take that away from her. But like I said, but what I also, like I said, I do feel like at the same time, I don't feel like when it comes to Heather that she listens to understand Bronwyn. I feel like she hears Bronwyn. I feel like when it comes down to Bronwyn, her guard is always up for whatever reason. And again, I don't understand. So then Heather wants to ask Bronwyn, like, why did you talk about Lisa and the lawsuits? And I'm like, Heather, that is something that has absolutely nothing to do with you. So why do you why do you care? Why are you concerning yourself with what Bronwyn said about Lisa? She didn't come for you. It ain't got nothing to do with you. So if it ain't got nothing to do with you, mind your business. So, Cajun, I'm gonna time you out. You're gonna get timed out. Like you're gonna get timed out. You can at least come in here and say hello, minus the Haley's brother. But hello, Cajun. Cajun, not tonight. Because you came in here on, you already came in here starting. Remember whose channel you're on. You ain't on Really B's channel. I can block you, I can mute you, I can put you in a timeout. and I can ban you. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be nice to you. So back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. So Heather, again, I just don't get why you care so much about why Bronwyn said what she said about Lisa. Lisa's come for her. So I'm the type of person I feel like this. If you come for me, well, I'm gonna come for you. And that's just how it is. And so with these two, do I think that they're gonna be friends with each other? Honestly, I don't, but we'll see where it goes with these two. So yeah, that's it, you guys, with Heather, with Bronwyn and Heather. Again, like I said, I just really feel like Heather wants an issue with Bronwyn, and anything she says, she will take an issue with it. So the last scene of the episode is this party that everybody went to. Now I don't know why oh God, Brittany is an irritant to me. So Brittany is at the party, and Brittany is at the party with none other than Jared. Here's what I will say. Brittany like it, I love it. But that man makes a fool of you, and then we see the man talking to Jared and asking him if he is in love with Brittany. No, he's not in love with Brittany. So Lisa came to the party. So Lisa wanted to know exactly what was said on the trip because she's talking to Meredith. But then Brittany took her big mouth ass over there to let her know what Angie said. And so Lisa then hightailed it over to Angie to ask Angie what was said, right? So then Angie says, well, you know, Bronwyn is the one that said this, and Bronwyn is over there, and Bronwyn can hear Lisa. So Bronwyn went to go confront Lisa, and Lisa's like, oh my God, go away. You're trespassing. No, she didn't say you're trespassing. She said that she is what was the word she used? Loitering. I was like, loitering, ma'am, loitering. Okay, Lisa, whatever. So now with this one, I'm Team Bronwyn. If you say my name in a loud ass conversation, well, guess what? I'm going to come over and insert myself in said conversation because what? My name was mentioned. And Bronwyn was trying to clean, like Bronwyn was like, I'm the one that said it. It wasn't Angie. Your issue is with me. Let's have a conversation, right? But Lisa doesn't want to have the conversation with Bronwyn. So then Lisa starts attacking Bronwyn, calling her a gout dick sucker. I said, huh? These girls love saying dick sucker this season so far. We done heard sucking dick now in episode 1 and 2. Kate, you say Lisa annoyed me on season 1, episode 1. I agree. Lisa's annoyed me since the very first episode of Salt Lake City. I ain't never saw it for Lisa Barlow. So Lisa and Bronwyn are going back and forth because Lisa keeps calling Bronwyn a dick sucker. Well, she's married. Although she's married to an older man, I would hope at some point she done sucked somebody's dick. And again, she's married, so I hope she would suck her husband's dick. I mean, I hope so. Again, I would hope so. So they're going back and forth, right? So then Lisa keeps talking about you suck dick for your clothes and all this kind of stuff. And she was like, Lisa, my husband buys my clothes. So again, I would hope I would hope she's doing something for her husband at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's an age read. Yeah, I know it's an age read saying his penis has gout. Yeah, I know it was an age read. It was weird to me because she kept saying that woman sucks dick. Then she talking about the Amex bill that Bronwyn has. She sucks dick again, girl. I mean, my God. If she don't work besides this show and her husband takes care of her, then shit, do something for the man. Right? I mean, I'm just saying. So then Braun says, girl, worry about who pays your Amex bill. The man that's in the lawsuit, worry about that. And Lisa was like, he doesn't pay my Amex bill. She said, it's in the paperwork. And so Bravo showed in the paperwork where the man did say he's paid, this is alleged, according to his complaint, that he has paid her Amex bill. Now, what I will say is I thought I was here for Braun going back and forth, going toe to toe with Lisa, and she wasn't backing up off of Lisa's neck. Now, again, Lisa, that red confessional that you got, I'm going to really hope that you fire the person who styled you for that, like whoever did your hair, whoever did your makeup. But you know what? Keep the person who do your makeup, because your makeup ain't never been good. Never. You've always had terrible makeup, so keep that person on retainer. But that hair, please fire that person expeditiously. And whoever got that dress for you, fire them too. I just also want you to know they hate you. That's all I will say. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this episode. I know everybody else I think everybody else is going live tomorrow. So I know Really Big said, I saw it on her community tab, she's going live tomorrow. Scotty's going live tomorrow. And I don't know about T. But yeah, you guys, that is all I got for Salt Lake City. Overall, episode 2 was a good episode. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here because I have not ate yet, and it's already 10 o'clock at night. So I'm gonna get off of here so I can eat and go to bed, because I got to go to the orthodontist first thing tomorrow morning, because I had to break my wire on my braces because that bitch was getting on my nerves. It was poking me and I couldn't deal with it. So yeah, I'm hop off here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Cajun, if you don't shut up, like the video, you guys, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video. And if you're watching a replay, gang, and you see me arguing with this troll in my comments, please ignore it. Please ignore the troll in the chat. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.